Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining today. What we will be doing today is another beautiful, colorful painting. This painting will have a powerful sky and a very small horizon. We are using Master's Touch pastels today. This is a different brand that we've been using in all the other live streams. And this is a creamier formula that we are using today. So we're going to start by outlining here the middle of our painting. We want this to be lighter so that the sky is dramatic, but at the same time it allows for some lightness and focus in the middle of the painting. Then we will be doing some grass in the style of Van Gogh. We'll draw a little path here, and this will lead to a bench that we will do. And I actually want to sketch our bench before we get started with the sky. This sketch will just provide some guidance later today. And this idea came from yesterday's live stream where we were drawing and doodling lots of benches. So I've laid out an orange, a yellow base there. Now we will do an orange base. And all of the squiggles that you see on the left side, we will do that on top of the base color that we have chosen. So we will simply focus on laying the color on the paper, and then we will be blending with our paper stick. Emperor Wansi said, "Hello, remember me?" Yes, I do remember you, and I'm happy that you are joining today. We are doing a colorful sky today, just like it is on the left side. I will teach you how to do that with pastels. So I've laid our orange here, we've laid our yellow to create the focus point, and we will also be using a lemon yellow towards the middle. And the reason that we are using another type of yellow is to create a lighter color in the middle for your eyes to focus. So for now, we're just laying the color on the paper, and then we will be blending. Slapping R6 said hi. I see you changed your username, or that's your second account. Thank you for joining, Slapping. I'm glad you guys are here. So let's start, as always, by blending our lighter colors first. And I will be very careful here not to blend in with the brown that we've laid on to sketch our bench. This is a paper stick, a large paper stick that we are using to blend. And the focus will be on laying on the pink purple, and all these other colors on top of the orange and the yellow. And carefully I will start blending that orange with the yellow, like this, to create a small gradient, but we do not need to focus too much on the gradient because we will be covering all of that with the squiggles in purple, pink, and a little bit of red, just like we did on the left side. And the more we've laid that oil pastel on the paper, the more solid, the deeper our base will be for the sky. I'm using circular motions, but you can do what works for you. You can blend side to side. You can blend horizontally. Whatever works for you. This is just so that I don't move the desk and the camera too much. Now that we've done the base for our drawing here, we will start doing the squiggly lines that will give depth to our painting. So you will see me here. I'm taking a hot pink, and the trick here is going to be to do C's and G's, no exact order, but we're going to make sure that our darkest colors, like the hot pink and the purple, most of them will be on the orange side of the sky. The reason is because we want to create a lighter focus on the middle of the painting over here, so that it leads the eye and it frames the painting at the same time. So without overthinking too much, we'll lay these colors and carefully and very minimally we will do just a few touches on that yellow. And as we approach the middle of the painting near the bench, we will do it less and less until we do not do any of the pink or dark colors like this. And we will repeat, and we will do the same with our purple. Take our purple, do some G's and some C's, just wherever we find it appropriate to do so. And we will concentrate most of these G's and C's around on the edges of the painting that we're making. Like this. And as we approach the yellow, we do it less and less. And as we approach the middle part of our painting, we do it very, very minimally, maybe 4 or 5 of those lines like this, to make sure that we are creating a focus. And in this middle area here, we'll do not too many, but not too little. And that's what's going to give it the focus in the center, like this. So let's take now another color. This time I'll do another type of pink. This is almost like magenta. And I will do the exact same thing that we've been doing. Some G's, some C's, making sure that I am leaving space to also do some G's and C's that are yellow, like we have done here. Very, very subtly. So let's take our paper stick and begin blending very carefully those G's and C's, like this. And what this is going to do is two things. It's going to help fill in any of the blank spaces that the chalk naturally leaves on the paper. And it's also going to help us blend everything onto the paper. If you will, we will melt it into the paper. So just focus on blending, and this is the part that we find relaxing. Just mindlessly blending one color at a time, like this. And see how it melts onto the paper, blending in with the other colors. Makes it take just the shape of one dimension instead of many. And we will do the exact same thing that we did, drawing G's and C's, but this time we will take a hot orange. This one that I have is very used and small, but that will work. Make sure that we're doing C's, L's, and G's. That's going to give it the appearance of being just squiggly lines in the sky. We're going to continue filling in those spaces, and the magic will come around when we blend the orange and the hot pink. Focusing on the edges, the outer corners. So let's blend here the orange that we've laid on the paper. Like this. And if we need to clean our paper stick, we will take a bit of sandpaper and roll our paper stick like this. And we'll continue blending now with the clean paper stick. And we always do the blending of the lighter colors first, so that the darker colors like purple, etc., do not overpower the brighter but not so dark colors like that. Okay. So we're seeing this come together as we are blending the orange, the hot pink, really taking shape here, creating that dramatic sky that we are looking for. Now I'm going to blend a little bit between all the squiggles that we've made, carefully going around the purple, just to simulate as if those squiggly lines were reflecting onto the sky. Emperor Wansi said hi. Hello. How are you doing? Now we're going to add some key colors here that are going to change the sky. One is the hot pink, but we will not be blending this time. And look how this is going to stand out. And we are sticking to doing C's, G's, and L's. And the key here is 1, to trust the process, always. And 2, to be patient. Because layers make art beautiful. If you have enough patience to continue working on your drawing, you will get a good outcome. Most of the time. I will not lie to you. Most of the time. But here today, let's focus on doing what we can. So let's take our lemon yellow and with more strength so that this lighter color lays on the paper, do the exact same thing that we were doing. Just creating those C's, those G's on the sky. This. I'm going to take our little one that has more corners here, like this. We just lay it on the paper, on the spaces that we have, like this. Pronouncing those C's with our lime yellow. Emperor Wansi said, "Can you speak up?" Yes. Is this better? Can you hear me better? I'm trying to whisper and sometimes I mumble to myself. Maybe a little too much. Emperor Wansi said, "Scream." If this were not ASMR, I would probably honor your request. So just like that, using our yellow. And then we'll take the color that we used for the base, which is a lighter orange. And just like we have it on this side here, we will do the same on this side. And let's focus on those spaces where there's no color yet, just to make it all rich and concentrated, like that. And I will dry on the left side that orange a little more towards the middle, but we're still keeping that focus. So not too much like this. And I'm just missing one color or two on the left side, and that is this almost like cream tan color. Maybe almost like a tan beige. I'm not sure what the name is. And we'll do everything that we've been doing, but focus on the middle third here to create a guide for the eyes, almost like a gradient for the eyes. Like this. And it almost looks like confetti actually, or something coming down from the sky, which is completely fine. And to make sure that both our sides are even, I'll just add a bit more hot pink on the left side, like this. Just a little more. Until both of our sides are even and consistent. Maybe a few more and we will be almost done with that sky. I believe that's good. That's even. If you have a different opinion, let me know. But we will take now our green and we will start doing the grass. And although that grass looks very simple, that is an overlap of 4 colors. And let's start with our, it's like a, what is this color? It is a mix of green and blue, very dark. And I will start with that as the base. Note that I'm not going to just do vertical lines here. One thing that I like to do with the grass is almost like follow S shapes or spirals. And that gives it a unique touch that makes the grass look almost whimsical a bit, like this, look. And if you look at grass in real life, grass is always being moved around by the wind in similar shapes that we're drawing right now. It's never usually just one straight line going up. So we'll do an overlap of several colors. We started with this mix of blue and green, and we will do then our middle shade of green, so not the lightest green that we have, but still a lighter green than what we just used. Emperor Wansi said facts. It takes time to stop and observe the grass and the flow of the wind and how it affects the grass. So it's a nice observation to make. So like this, just following those S shapes. And we will continue on top of this with another shade of green, this time lighter. Emperor Wansis said, "How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?" I am 27, turning 27 this month, 27 years old. I've been doing art for 10 years actually, since more than 10 years now, since I was 15 years old. And I used to do portraits and I used to sell them. But then it became almost like tedious for me to just draw people, and I started to practice landscapes and other types of art until I settled for what I do now, which is just like colorful landscapes And I don't always do pastels. I actually do pastels for the live streams because this is easier than to do painting, on a desk. But yeah, how old are you, Emperor? I would love to know. I remember all the people that come by my live streams, and usually their ages as well. Emperor said I'm 24. Nice, we're close in age then. What do you do, Emperor, if you don't mind me asking? Do you work? Do you study? Neither? What do you do? Just like that. So there'll be 2 key steps now that we're going to do. One is going to be blending the grass without over blending, because we want to keep the shape of those little sticks of grass that we've made. But then we will go in with the key color, which is that blue that we've laid on there. Emperor said, "Stay at home, Dad." That sounds very nice. I think staying at home is very healing and very calming. I personally don't have kids, so I don't know about that part. And I don't know if it's still relaxing, when you are watching kids, but I think that kids are lovely. I love kids, and I think they are wonderful little creatures, almost like goblins. They're goblins sometimes, but they are wonderful. But one day I hope to have kids. The time just hasn't come yet. Maybe I'm supposed to make a lot more art videos until that happens. So now that we've blended here our base colors, let's take our blue, and that's what's going to give it depth, like this. And the wonderful thing about mixing blue and green is that, of course, blue is a component of green, so it will look like the shadow of the grass. Very minimally making sure we're still following our curvy patterns here to make the grass move around in our little world. And I want to focus for a moment on the bench that we're making. In the middle of that bench, where there's supposed to be an empty space, I will draw a blue line. And the reason we are doing this is because it gives that image of being far away, being dark, as if it were a shadow. And the shadow makes sense because the bench is in front of it. That's the only reason. So just like that, we will go into coloring our bench. So I will take maybe a bit of orange, and let's take a bit of brown. The name escaped my brain for a second. So let's lay the orange first, like this. And then, if we can, let's do the brown surrounding the edges like this. And little by little, that helps our bench take shape. Let's do the outline here of the wood on the bench. Like this. just a few lines mimicking that wood on the bench. But let's make sure to blend that in and see what it creates. Like this. That's all we need for the bench, really. But I will blend that blue. Make sure that there's no empty white spaces here. No blank spaces left on the paper. And I did a little path here on our sketch. Let's take a brown, like a beige mix of brown. Not sure what the name of this color would be. But let's lay it on the paper. And then let's lay it darker on the edges to give it almost like a contour, as if the light in the middle were reflecting on the little path there. Like this. And we'll fill in that middle of the path with just some yellow. Like this. And lastly, let's blend. And we'll start, as always, from the lighter side out into the darkest sides of that path. Just blend those edges. Like this. Now we have a little path on our trail, and I will go back in just a little bit of brown and make sure that the legs of that bench is really sticking out right there. The last thing I want to do here for our dramatic sky is to add a bit more of lemon yellow. Let's take the lemon yellow that we have and do our C's and G's here in the middle. The difference will be very subtle, but it will give it shape, and your brain will pick up on it like this. Carefully, not mixing that yellow with any other colors. And that creates the focus point that we were talking about in the very beginning when we started our live stream today. Like this. And just look at that beautiful sky. Dramatic. Almost looking like confetti. And I think it's beautiful. It's unique. I'll make sure that there's no white spaces here to have a fuller painting. And I just mixed a bit of that green with the yellow, and we'll mix it into the sky to give the appearance that our path, our trail, the grass continues in the distance. Like that. Let's do the same on this side. Like this. And that's when we have our sky, very dramatic. Our lonely bench on the trail. I was feeling a little lonely today, so I don't know if that's too much information, but I thought that I would draw something that expresses how I feel. But I'm glad that I had a few people drop in the chat to talk to me. And of course, some art to make. And I think this reflects very beautifully how I felt today. A little empty, but full of life. Still happy. Just, a little emptiness, something missing maybe. That's why I wanted to do the horizon. Just 1/4 of everything. Just a little, present, but not overpowering the drawing. I think lastly, let's do the same thing that we did here with our grass, but with our path. So just taking a tiny bit of brown and very lightly lay it on the edge right there. And let's blend that. That's going to give the illusion that this continues in the distance. Like that. And I'll do vertical, why not? Like this. So that's what we have for our art today. Colorful sky, colorful grass. We used Master's Touch oil pastels, which I very much recommend. They are affordable. They are very creamy, oily, and attainable. And we used a paper stick that has been through it, you can tell, and just a bit of sandpaper that helps us clean the paper stick. And I will show you guys one more time how we clean our paper stick. Like this. Just roll it onto the sandpaper. And you will see slowly it peels away the paper layers. And that's how it cleans the paper. Let's do the same with this one. Rolling it onto the sandpaper. And that's what cleans our paper stick. That is all that we have today for our live stream. Thank you so much for watching and joining. Emperor Wansies, I'm so grateful you stopped by. You always make me laugh with your silly comments, even though I can't always respond. I hope you have a good night and stay safe out there. Take care.